Hello, everyone. On behalf of Third Pillar, thank you for joining us. We are an IT and business consulting company specializing in three areas. One is customer experience platform, and our global partner is Salesforce. We are their gold partner in the country. Data governance is our next area of expertise. So this is data governance, migration, cleansing, and our global partner here is Synity for its DSP platform. E-procurement is our third area of expertise. And our partner here is Consus, carrying VILLANUEVA platform. Welcome to our first of a series of online forums. This is our FinTech edition, and our theme is Survive, Adapt, and Evolve in these trying times. We all know that it has been over a month since the Philippine government declared the lockdown. The continued isolation has brought uncertainty for many over the past weeks. Few, if any, were caught unprepared. The public and private sectors, consumers, and households, small, medium, and even large businesses all had to adjust with a new way of doing things and running businesses, even running our country as a whole. Fortunately, in these trying times, there are businesses and industries that continue to offer crucial services for our country. And one of the sectors making a huge impact today is the FinTech sector, especially now when the movement of money is done digitally. Today, we have brought in innovation and transformation leaders from the country's FinTech companies to share how they are meeting the challenge of COVID-19, how they transform their businesses to suit the new norm, and how they continue to innovate in service of the people. In face of this global lockdown, what do? We just have to survive, adapt, and evolve. Third Pillar is happy to introduce our distinguished guest speakers. Let me start with Mr. Henry Aguda. He is a Senior Executive Vice President and Chief Technology and Operations Officer and Chief Transformation Officer of UnionBank of the Philippines. UnionBank is recognized as the best digital bank in the country for the past 3 years. Henry is the man behind the digital transformation. Our next speaker is Mr. MITCH PADUA, Chief Product Officer of PayMaya Philippines, Inc. This is formerly Smart E-Money. The company is a pioneer in mobile money, with PayMaya being the first prepaid online payment app that enables the financially underserved to pay online without a credit card. Our third speaker is Mr. LITO Villanueva. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief Innovation and Inclusion Officer of RCBC. RCBC is one of the largest universal banks in the country. LITO is also Chief Digital Transformation Advisor of the Yichenko Group of Companies, and he is a Chairman of Finance of FinTech Alliance.ph. LITO is one of the country's leading award-winning thought leaders on digital transformation and inclusive digital finance. And to complete our cast of FinTech notables is Ms. Pebbles C. Manalang, Chief Technology and Operations Officer of Mint GCash. Its 5 key services include payments, remittances, loans, business solutions, and platform. GCash has pioneered in various mobile money solutions in the country. Panelists, welcome to our online forum. Our moderator for today's session is the president of Winergy Power Pilipinas. He is also the host of ANC's On the Money and Entrep Lab. Please welcome Mr. Quintin Pastrana. Hello, Quintin. How are you?
Jenny, thanks for the kind introduction, and to our panelists, welcome and thank you for joining us on this critical occasion to share your insights and your crystal ball into the future of work, digital payments, and this transformation we have in the post-COVID environment.
Okay, Quintin, take it from here, and I will see you all later.
Much appreciated, Jenny. So panelists, we've got about an hour to talk about this post-COVID environment, the role of digitization, fintech products from your individual institutions. I want to get a pulse, first of all, from all of you, one by one as the screen comes in, as to how your digital transformations have been hastened under this environment. The cliche about the new normal is more than just a cliche. It is an imperative in terms of hastening these digital transformations and journeys. So if we can take them through your individual companies, how you're taking your customers with you, I'd like to hear that from you as you paint the broad brushstrokes for the new normal. Let's start with Henry.
Hi, Quintin. Good afternoon to everybody. So, well, new normal. New normal is like this. We can present anywhere in the world right now. So me, I'm presenting outside our headquarters in Ortigas. I didn't break quarantine. I'm still at home, but you know how it goes. First of all, a salute to all of the frontliners, the doctors, the nurses, the police, the military, everybody is serving and providing service to everybody right now, from food to delivery and what have you. So how has it affected us as an organization? We see so many heroes around the metropolis right now and throughout the country. So let me share some items that we've been going through with UnionBank. So everybody's going digital, and the nice thing about what we've done for the past few years is this is the new normal. The new normal is you do your bills payment, your fund transfer, to depositing checks online in the comfort and safety of your home. So that's the new normal for us. And not only can you do all of this, but of late we've seen a spike in the adoption of digital accounts being opened by customers. No need to go to the branches. No need to brave the traffic and the checkpoint. You can do it from home. So that has actually impacted the way our users have been using our services. And from the get-go, we didn't lose a beat. From pre-COVID to immediately COVID, our digital infrastructure has been there to service the public. So we'll see more and more of this as people now start to realize not only is it convenient, but it is also safer and more secure to do digital transactions. Continue. Hello?
Hi, maybe if we just ask the same question to the rest of the group, and if we can then just ask Mitch.
In mobile payments, migrating customers who don't have a bank account, new world. Yeah.
Thanks, Dee. So yeah, for PayMaya,
anything you want to add?
Sorry, yeah. Thanks, Dee. So for PayMaya, we've always been a digital-first company. It's in our DNA. We went actually from 100% working in one location to 100% working from home without really disrupting any part of our business. We're crazy busy now. It's like the business went into overdrive, hyper acceleration. If you talk a little about what's happening outside, I'm sure we've all been in the lockdown.
I suppose now we can move on to your digital journey. I mean, you yourself are moving towards digital wallets and online. Those who haven't have a bank account, tell us about how.
Sorry.
Hi, Mitch. Sorry, we're having difficulty with the host, but I think just going back onto the first question, if we just take it from there, Mitch, I think you were explaining and doing a good job around it. We'd like to hear just your last words around that.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I think being in the lockdown for the past 40 days, people's behavior have changed. And the shift to digital, which used to be a luxury, now is a necessity, right? And the situation demands for contactless servicing, digital payments, or you simply do not survive. So what we've seen on the enterprise side is the demand for online payment processing just skyrocketed as retailers scramble on their e-commerce sites. So for those with sites built, we actually have a payment gateway that we use. For those that actually have not yet transitioned, are using, for example, Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp to transact. We provided these guys with email invoicing or payment links. Obviously, the consumers have used the PayMaya wallet as well. So everyone's staying at home. What we've seen is the strength in offline to online money movement. It was put right front and center with our 30,000 Smart Padala agents. So anyone now can easily send money to almost any city, any town, any municipality in the Philippines, and at the comfort of their own homes. So these are really people that usually have no access to traditional banking channels. Even the government has reached out to beneficiaries and was able to reach out instantly. Companies can pay suppliers, salaries, allowances. So recently we had a golf course who was actually paying all her caddies through PayMaya. So that has actually changed. Even registrations have been exploding on the PayMaya side. So people find it as an easier way to pay and get paid. And that shift is really, really moving fast. So that's what we're seeing now. Back to you, Dee.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. Interesting that you're getting such a wide range as well, and a good kind of obscure scenario there from paying your caddies. So if we just ask the same question again to Lito. Lito, thanks and welcome to the group.
Thank you. Thank you. In the case of RCBC, I think to the question posed earlier by Quintin as well, the how to define new normal. I think the imperative is really on how you can put some context that terminology right now. How can an ordinary Filipino be able to understand the situation during the ECQ and even post ECQ? Now, I think more than ever, the Filipinos are now actually forced to go digital. But unfortunately, while Philippines has been regarded as one of the top countries when it comes to promoting and advocating for inclusive digital finance in terms of regulatory framework, in terms of platforms available in the market, we have seen the fact that a lot of our Filipinos are still not adapt to digital transactions or them having access to digital platforms. So I think one classic example is on the government's issue or concern pertaining to the immediate disbursements of the 200 billion pesos intended for the social amelioration program for 18 million families in the Philippines. So far, I mean, we've been in this ECQ for more than a month now. And as per government, they have just disbursed over about 70% of that. And in fact, again, no single entity would be able to provide such services to that 18 million Filipinos. But I think it's more of a collaboration amongst all players in the industry. And in the case of RCBC, for example, we were able to get the support from BSP and from PSWD in ensuring that we could also provide some support and services, such as, for example, our ATM Go, wherein it's now present in about 90% of all provinces in the country. And as of today, we have reported that about 1.7 billion pesos have already been disbursed to the channel. So I think we have seen an exponential growth when it comes to consumer adoption, because again, at the end of the day, what the two key elements that we need to put premium on would definitely be financial education and digital literacy.
Yes, 100%. I think great points on there. Pebble, so just ask you the same question.
Yeah.
Hi, and welcome to the group.
Hi, Heidi. COVID-19 is reframing our way of life on a daily basis. Like other companies, Mint is on a full work from home setup. and it's working pretty well for us. But we do constantly check in on our employees to make sure that we're connected despite the setup. We were also lucky that we were prepared for the shift and we were able to move to a full work from home setup. We had the relevant tools that were easily accessible at home. And we were also able to leverage on the strength and support of our shareholders, Globe Telecom, Ayala Corp. They made sure that we were connected and had the best employee support. Alibaba Group's Ant Financial, they're the operator of the world's biggest mobile wallet, Alipay. They continue to support us as we push the limits of our back-end systems. In the past weeks, I guess like the rest of the panelists here, we have seen a shift to online activity where more users have been sending money, buying load or gaming pins, transferring funds from bank to GCash, and paying online through GCash. We see GCash now being used to conduct online services that were previously done in offline establishments. Our daily registrations have actually more than doubled. And at one point during ECQ, we were number 3 free app, only behind TikTok and Zoom. So it tells you what people are doing.
Wow.
So we do recognize that we're part of the solution, right? Globally,
Yeah.
contactless payment is growing rapidly because it's the more hygienic alternative to handling cash, right? So I think now more than ever, users are finding value in digital financial products and services. We've seen a surge in e-learning, streaming, online shopping, and in general, use of e-money. See Filipinos have turned to online marketplaces for their groceries, medicines, and other supplies, food delivery apps and ordering services as well, to minimize their time outside of their homes. So I think the value proposition of the digital services are more relevant than ever as people look at it as part of the solution. So I actually think that even post-COVID, after discovering the benefits and the convenience, people and consumers are more likely to make the shift to adopting to a digital lifestyle. So.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, the fact that the Philippine culture has kind of shifted from having that hesitation to do that online transaction to then now being propelled to do it. And then for you guys, it's now understanding what would be the next kind of customer journey that you'd have to, transform to. So then my next question for you guys is really, what would that customer journey look like, moving past COVID-19? Have we started to think about that? Henry, if I could address that to you.
ID, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. So yeah, so on screen, this is going to be the new normal. People will be depositing checks from anywhere and everywhere in the safety of their homes. That's what we've been seeing, and actually, you notice the other players in the market right now. Not only is being able to work from home is better. Sorry, there's a lag in my video. I don't know if you guys are hearing me or hello.
We can hear you, but yeah, there's a small lag, but we can hear you very clearly and your speed.
Yeah. So not only is everybody the new normal, not only is a lot of people will have the convenience of working from home, but mobility is going to be everywhere. This is actually a project that we've collaborated with one of Pebble's shareholder, Globe. This is a mobile bank. So we've noticed the limitations of fixed brick and mortar branches. And, we've been working on this for quite a while, taking advantage of 5G technology. And you'll see a lot of this all over the place. I see some other banks are already trying to do this, where you don't have to have a fixed bank branch. It will be mobile, which is good for situations like this. And everybody's going to be talking about disaster recovery, business continuity. So I feel mobility is going to be more and more in demand after this one. Other than this, if there's one revelation, work from home. I think people have been talking about work from home. It's nothing new. People have been doing it in Silicon Valley for more than 10 years. People have gone work from home and back, and I guess a lot of people are back to work from home mode. Credit to the telcos. Credit to the telcos, both the three players, I guess.
Oh, yes.
The two. It works. One of the major revelations we've had is so we operate the backroom of our branches, from check clearing to fund transfer to processing loans, 100% from the safety and the comfort of the homes of our employees. Forget about multi-site operation. We're now working from home. The only people not working from home are our heroic frontliners in the branches, because a lot of people are still doing over the counter.
Yeah.
But then kudos to the telcos. I've always been a believer that the telcos have done a lot of good work in providing bandwidth. I know they sometimes get the raw end of the argument that people cannot go digital because of the I always keep challenging that. We have enough bandwidth to provide digital payment, digital infrastructure in the country. And the network that our employees use to watch Netflix or Disney or what have you are the same ones that they're using now to process mission critical banking applications. So after this, a lot of people will now be rethinking in terms of their workforce allocation, who works from home. And I think the new normal will be this. Work from home will be the rule. The exception will be if you fall within a certain age bracket, you can go to the office. And I guess
we will all be staying at home because we're above that age bracket.
Here, still have the option to go to the office, but if you're outside that specific age range, you can only work from home. So that's the new normal.
Okay, very good. And I like to see that there's already a cross collaboration between certain groups, especially with you and PABS, being able to create something like this, which is so valuable. Mitch, how about you? What's going on with PayMaya there?
Yeah, so I actually like working from home. So in terms of your question a while ago, customer journeys and migrating to digital, right? Some of our customers. So we serve two segments, the consumer and the enterprise. And things are all not the same, right? So you have on one side the fully digital consumer, the fully digital enterprise. On the other side, you have the more legacy, who's used to over-the-counter or to things that are not digital today. So I think it's really making things as accessible and as ubiquitous as possible across all channels, right? So on the consumer side, that can be the consumer app. Facebook Messenger is key for us as well. We have the PayMaya card, where we issue Visa, MasterCard, BankNet as well, so that you can pay anywhere, whether you're in the Philippines or outside the Philippines. Offline, you can pop up easily in any of our 30,000 smart Padala agents, or any of the traditional over-the-counter channels like 7-Eleven, Ministop, SM, Robinsons, Palawan, and the like. Or you can also send to any bank, right? So you can send to UnionBank, RCBC, even GCash, to any remittance outlet out there. For a customer, it's extremely easy, right, for a PayMaya user. Now, for merchants, the way we look at it, it's really about accepting all kinds of payments. So whether that's credit, debit, wallet, QR. So on our side, we call it dip, tap, swipe, shoot, and click. So whether offline or online. And we work with different players so in the ecosystem. And that for us is really essential, right? So whether that's merchants, consumers, government, NGOs, industry players like the banks or the wallet players as well, remittance partners, capturing all types of money movement. Each journey will be a little bit different, but we need to be there for everyone. So I think that's the new normal, right? So COVID aside, the cashless experience is just simply better than cash.
Yep, it is, and it's the much needed, right? The new norm.
So I think we'll see more in the future.
Sorry, I just like to ask, I think LITO also, right, in RCBC or in what he has experienced in setting up digital transformation, it's really more, okay, we're really talking about the others who have bank accounts. But there are still a lot of people out there that do not have this. So how can we help a lot of our countrymen just be able to cope with COVID? Because we still have a lot of people that would want to send money to their families in the provinces. But for RCBC, what is it that you're doing in that
regard. Okay, so thank you. Jenny, one of the things that we immediately did for this one is how to quickly onboard as many Filipinos as possible for them to have transactional accounts. May it be a wallet or may it be a bank account. So the good thing there is that BSP has also been an advocate of really promoting financial inclusion. It has been quick in terms of providing the regulatory framework on this one within the first week of the ECQ lockdown. So one of which is really on how to further relax the KYC requirements. BSP came up with Memorandum 2020-015, wherein it allowed even those guys or those Filipinos belonging to the DE market that do not have IDs to be able to still open transactional accounts so that they will now be able to receive cash grants from government. So in the case of RCBC, what we did was really to to further simplify it and to quickly have that mechanism in place. And in fact, we were able to onboard as many accounts in our system, plus be able to disburse funds by government through our channels. So that's why I think we have seen the exponential growth, as I've said earlier, that we've seen about 800% jump from pre-ECQ period. And I think this is really the way forward. And I think, as I've said, the likes of GCash, PayMaya, UnionBank, and the rest of the other players in the industry, we are united in terms of really supporting the government in coming up with ways on how to really serve the general public, how to quickly get their cash.
Well, thank you very much, Lito, for sharing that. With regard now that everybody is transacting online, and what about the security, data privacy? So I'd like to ask Pebbles. Pebbles, can you share what GCash is doing in that aspect? Because it seems that there's still a lot of people that are so concerned sending money over the via the web or internet. So what do you do for your customers?
Yeah, the shift to digital has also increased the need for safe digital IDs, and Lito mentioned KYC. Our partnership with Ant has provided us with a lot of tools and best practices to make our platform as safe as possible. We use a best-in-class KYC platform that allows us to fully verify users almost real time, with minimal manual intervention. We think this is really a differentiator for GCash. And we continue to improve the user experience of our KYC process to make sure that we protect our customers' data and the security of the app, of course. We also do regular campaigns and promote safety and security. We release advisories and reminders so that our partners and our customers, continue to feel safe and secure using our platform.
Thank you, Pebbles, for that. I would just like to ask one question on integrity of information being provided to you by your clients. So I'd like to ask Henry. So how do you ensure the integrity of the customers that are just, it's so easy. Okay, it's so easy to open a bank account, but how do you know whether they're using this for something else? I mean, you know what I mean. But so it's so easy to get an account, but how do you ensure integrity of information?
Hi, Jenny. So, well, that's a good question, no? So our system has several safety mechanisms in terms of validating the KYC. So you have the liveness check. You also have the KYC requirements, and we comply with all of them. And so far, we're tracking. During the COVID, we track the number of customers that are opening digitally online. We're now up to 140,000 customers who have opened their accounts digitally. And as Lito mentioned earlier, and this has to be mentioned as well, also a shout out to BSP. I'm showing you one project that we did, that BSP, and I guess the same experience with Lito, provided their approval very, very quickly. And to get BSP approval prior to COVID, they really go through a lot of scrutiny, and you're lucky if you get an approval within a few months. But we got approval within days. This one is answering to the call of the times to allow as many cash out counters to the Filipino, the masses, to cash out their money. So it's no use for them to open it digitally if they cannot draw down from the account in cash. So imagine, from 0 counters in terms of remittance interfaces to 11,000, this couldn't have been done without BSP's approval. In fact, in step with the times, we're also providing similar executions like this all throughout the country with one of our subsidiaries. And you could just imagine how important it is for us to secure the ability to monitor the transaction, making sure that the transactions are valid, and complying with the proper KYC. Now, BSP has relaxed some of the KYC requirements, but they're no way less secure and accurate in terms of the people that are transacting. So I guess it's a mix of technological solution as well as regulatory oversight that is working together to make sure, while we service the public, we balance it with the safety and the security of the information that goes to it.
Okay, thank you so much, Henry. So may I ask that question also? May I direct that to Mitch and Lito?
Okay, Jenny. Yeah, I think similar to Henry and Pebbles, PayMaya is working closely with the BSP. Our CEO and founder, Doy, is actually the Philippine E-Money Association. So he's actually the chairman of the Philippine E-Money Association. And then because we work with a lot of credit card providers like Visa, MasterCard, we also meet PCI DSS requirements. So in terms of all of these things, we need to be actually very secure. We also use face and ID verification, the selfie, the liveness checks. We also do a lot of device fingerprinting and behavior analysis as part of our security checks to ensure that you are who you say you are, and you still remain to be who you are while you're transacting later on. So,
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Mitch. Lito, would you like to also answer that?
Yes.
Henry,
Thank you, Jen.
but
Yeah.
maybe something that they have not said, because
Okay.
this is very important, right, to the banks.
Yes. Well, I think what is critical in this challenging times would be on how to come up, because you can easily come up with products and services, yes, but on how responsive and relevant your products and services would be for the target market. I mean, I think that the purpose of your intention in terms of really providing those services would be should be anchored on the demand of the public. So I think one of the things that we also would want to highlight here is similar to what Henry said. We've been collaborating with BSP. Of course, you cannot come up with any products or services without the approval of BSP. But the good thing here is that I think for the past 4 weeks or so, we're able to get about close to 8 approvals from BSP just for specific new products and services to offer the public. And one of which is allowing even the unbanked or underserved beneficiaries to be able to receive cash from a sender that is actually that would have an account with RCBC, for example. And in fact, just to cite one figure, I mean, for ATM cardless withdrawal, we have seen about 680% jump in terms
Yes.
of transaction volume. And that further expanded to include other payout payment centers or partners. And in fact, we launched that within a period of 3 days, during Holy Week. And we got the approval from BSP in a matter of about 2 days. So I think this is really a matter of necessity, a matter of urgency, and the ability of your people, your digital team, to be as agile as possible.
Thank you very much, Lito. I would like to extend this panel discussion for a little bit more. It's just unfortunate that we encountered some technical difficulties along the way. But I would just like to ask all our speakers, this is our last question, is for our last question, I'd just like to ask Pebbles and the rest as well, what are the key imperatives for consumers, entrepreneurs, or policymakers so that the Philippines can pivot and lead in this post-COVID environment?
Hi, thanks, Jenny. Big question. I think working with the fintech industry at this point has become a welcome step in the shift towards a digital lifestyle. The use of e-money will lead us towards a more inclusive financial system where no Filipino is left behind, right? Even in the middle of a pandemic. The dream is still financial inclusion for all, and that's the problem that we're trying to solve. Digital finance is now emerging as the core service, right? Now people are using their e-wallets to pay bills, transact with merchants, send and receive money from loved ones and friends, and even donating. It's important to have a digital financial infrastructure in place to support these services. I think the pandemic has really emphasized the need for us to further develop and promote digital financial services to complement the initiatives to fight COVID-19. As Lito mentioned earlier, even the local government have encouraged citizens to transact through digital wallets. This is also supported by BSP, who's saying the use of e-payments for paying utilities, money transfers, and purchasing essential items, right, is now, I guess, the new norm. With the e-wallets, Filipinos no longer have to queue on ATM machines to cash out. They simply have to place their orders online, pay via QR, while staying safe inside their homes. I think, given all of these, it is important for us to all work together. We're all friends here, so we can move forward and bounce back stronger. So whether it's the government, private sector, local government, policymakers, regulators, or just a broader population, we need to embrace this new reality, right? Because whether we like it or not, this is now the new normal for all of us. But I guess I just wanted to also highlight that I mentioned earlier the dream and the bigger purpose is still to address financial inclusion in the country. We need to provide financial services with lower barriers to entry for many of our unbanked and underbanked Filipinos. It's good that banks like UnionBank, RCBC are really leading the way. Because today, applying for formal financial services, credit, savings, investment is still very complicated and inaccessible for most Filipinos.
Okay.
We need to solve that problem. GCash is trying to solve that problem. We provide access today to various financial products in a single application. Our users can open a savings account, we call that GSave, within our app and earn up to 4% interest. And that's one of the highest in the country. Users can invest money in money market for as low as 50 pesos, right? And while our G credit product allows or provides access to a credit line to pay for QR transactions or pay for their bills. So I think we really need to innovate together to offer products that will provide better value compared to the current market. And there's no better time than today to do it. So
thank you very much, Pebbles. I'd just like to squeeze a very quick question because we also have viewers here. We have viewers that may not be familiar with the technical terms, we mentioned inclusion. So we know that Lito is the Chief Innovation and Inclusion Officer of RCBC. I'm getting some questions here. What is inclusion? Maybe just to satisfy our viewers, what is in layman's term, Lito?
Well, inclusion simply means the ability by which all of our members of the society, Filipinos, to be part of the formal financial system. That no one should be left behind.
All right. So at least that one question already answered. So Mitch, any parting words for our viewers?
Yeah, so I think we all know the saying, it takes 21 days to build a habit and 90 days to build a lifestyle. Yes. We're now a nation that is moving into the general quarantine and will be there for quite some time, right? So I think now is the time to go digital, to go cashless. We here at PayMaya is an end-to-end digital payments provider, one that can serve the needs of anyone online or offline, whether you're an individual, a micro or large enterprise. So we're here for you, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mitch. Henry, any parting words for our viewers?
Well, keeping in step with the theme of, partly the theme of the session here about FinTech, I'm showing you one of amazing collaboration with the FinTech. So we've talked about work from home. So beyond the video conferencing and emailing, we have our people still fulfilling the delivery of ATMs and credit cards. And you know what happened, right? So second week of the quarantine, all the courier services shut down. And then out of thinking out of the box, and also something that the government is doing right now, which is good, they're thinking out of the box. So thinking out of the box, we reached out to ride-hailing companies and asked the likes of Grab. Well, Grab has Grab Express, so which is good. And we said, then why don't we expand it to Angkas and Joyride? Within a week, just to show the agility of the FinTech companies here in the Philippines.
Fantastic.
We're now delivering ATMs and credit cards through Angkas and Joyride. And our delivery, because there's no traffic actually, from 1 week delivery, sometimes we can deliver within 24 hours. So that's one of the things that I guess the government should start doing, and they're doing right now, leaning more and more towards technology. Next would be, we have a very rich ecosystem of fintechs. Our ability to service remittances through Palawan Express, and I noticed some of the feeds, they're asking whether we're partnered with Palawan Express or they're a competitor. We see them as a collaborator. And the one that actually ties up our relationship with the Palawan Express and UnionBank is Coins.ph. And the one that ties up our relationship between Cebuana and Perahab is actually DragonPay. So it is during this time that you really can see and appreciate the value of the fintech community that's in the Philippines at this point. So think out of the box, lean on technology. We have a lot of fintechs where you can get a lot of solutions right now for this situation. That's it. And a salute again to all the frontliners, and you guys hopefully stay safe and well.
Yes. Well, if there's one key takeaway that I got from you, Henry, it's really the collaboration. So this what COVID did to us is just like we're all helping each other. I mean, PayMaya, GCash, well, to a certain extent that, we're really your competitors, but in today's time, we're all collaborating, RCBC, UnionBank. I really love the story wherein UnionBank collaborated with Palawan Express, because this is really a medium of those with no bank accounts. And in a span of like 2 weeks, I was just surprised that all of you, the fintech companies, you evolved and came out to be one of the sectors that is really making a key difference in our country. So we are running out of time. I'd love to stay a little bit longer. So it's just that the technical difficulties, well, as you said, this is the new norm. This is how we are. Normally this is in a forum, live one, but in today's time, we have to really do this online. And it's just unfortunate that our moderator had technical difficulties as well. So I'm sure in due time, our communication lines will also improve so that this new norm of online forum will be much better. So Henry, Lito, Mitch, and Pebbles, thank you very much for really sharing your time with us. The information you shared were very insightful and indeed relevant to these times and situation. Third Pillar is happy to be a part of your journey towards digitalization, and we look forward to many more years of service with you and your companies. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you. So this concludes our online forum. You may view this again on our website and social media pages. Thank you once again to our online viewers for joining us. Until our next online forum.